Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my review for the Season 4 finale of Being Mary Jane, Episode 20, Feeling Tested. This episode, I felt like it was a lot of repetitiveness of the episode. Not saying it was a bad episode, but I felt like it could have been like a half an hour. I just wish a little bit more happened, I guess. Because the whole episode was basically about Mary Jane having to pick between Justin and Kara. That was the whole premise of the show, basically. One with other little things tossed in here and there. And I can get through it real quick. This is not going to be a long review, people, but it's basically because not a lot happened. You know, you have Mary Jane having to pick between Kara and Justin. And, you know, she wakes up and she's having a dream. Damn it. She's dreaming, you know, so the opening scene is her. She's dreaming that Justin got the position and he's the new EP and they're married, they're happy, and they have kids. And then she sees Kara walking down the street and they don't speak. And when her child says, "Mom, who's that?" And she's like, "Oh, that's just someone I used to know." And then, of course, she wakes up and she's laying next to Justin, and it's a whole dream. You know, there's a second scene where she has a dream and Kara gets the job. And when Kara gets the job, my eye is going crazy. When Kara gets the job, her and Justin breaks up, where she is happy and, you know, the show is successful. And when she's going to her car, she sees Justin coming out of a store and he's with his child, but they're not together. So in that life, her and Justin don't know each other anymore. So again, it was the whole back and forth, ping pong, ping, of, do I choose Justin, do I do Justin, my boyfriend, or Kara, my best friend? You know, there was even a scene with her talking to Aaliyah and the guy who's the hairstylist, and, you know, where Aaliyah's like, you know, you should choose Kara, and the hairstylist boy is like, no, you should choose Justin, and they sit up there smoking some weed. And I'm looking like, well, that's sometimes how people make decisions. They smoke a little bit of weed. So that's the whole premise of the show, but I'll go through some little things. There were only two other storyline plots, and that was Paul and Helen, you know, in their separation. So we see that Paul is at home, of course, you know, Helen isn't there anymore, and he has women, just, you know, the old women is circling, and they're coming, and they're doing what older single women do when a man is single. They bringing him food, you know, they're trying to feed his soul with their food. And, you know, he's like, okay, thank you. And the first lady even said, you know, when my husband died, I know it was so hard to get back into the swing of things. And he was like, Helen isn't dead. And she's like, well, you know what I mean, you know, but if you ever need a friend to talk to, I'm a phone call away. You know, and there was a second woman who came and dropped off some food too. And, you know, Niecy and Patrick is seeing all this food and all these women stop by, and they thinking like, you know, because Paul isn't eating the food. And they're like, he ain't eating the food because he wants grandma food. You know, he wants his wife back. And, you know, that's the thought process behind why he's not eating the food. You know, later on in the episode, we see Helen comes to the house when, you know, Paul and Patrick are gone somewhere and Niecy's there. And, you know, she's like, oh, hey, grandma, you know, granddad and dad is gone. They gone wherever. You know, you can chill out. Then someone knocks on the door. Knock, knock, knock. And Niecy's like, oh, I'll get it. She's like, no, I'll go get it. So Helen goes to answer the door, and the lady is there in her church Sunday dress and her Sunday church hat with a pie, or no, with a cake. And she's like, oh, Helen. And she's like, yeah, hey, you know, you can keep that dry ass pie. You know, me and Paul still married. You know, go ahead on somewhere. Just go ahead on somewhere. And she closes the door in her face. And, you know, Niecy's like, yeah, grandma, it's okay. Granddad hasn't eaten any of the food. And she's like, any of the food? Is more food? And she go in the kitchen. Sorry, I'm fixing my shirt. She go in the kitchen, and sure enough, in the refrigerator is all the food that the women have been bringing over. And she's like, these old thirsty bitches trying to better get off my man. I'm going to give him something I know he'll like. And she starts the cooking. And, Niece's like, Grandma, they ain't got nothing on you. Granddad, ain't gonna know what hit him. So, she there to try to make up with her husband. He comes home, of course, they're eating the food, and he's like, I forgot how much I miss your food. And she's like, yeah, you can have some more pie. She made a whole goddamn spread. So, he's like, I eat some more, I'm gonna explode. So she gets up, and she's rubbing his shoulders, rubbing his shoulders, making him feel all nice and tingly. And she's like, yeah, go ahead and get you some more pie. And then she grabs him and she holds him. She said, Paul, I just miss you. I love you. Can we get past this? I want to come home. I need to be home with you. Can we just move past this? I'm so sorry, but can we get past it? And then he's like, Helen, I'm sorry that you, did all this. You didn't have to. He then walks out and he comes back with the envelope and he gives her the envelope. And then he's like, she's like, what's this? And he's like, I talked to my lawyers and, I want this transition to be as easy as possible for everyone involved, for the whole family. But it's divorce papers. And he was like, he gives her a kiss on the cheek and says, they're divorce papers. And I'm like, damn. But, are we surprised they got a divorce? At what, yes, they've been together for a long time. And they were happy. But I think every man has his breaking point. And I think his breaking point was when she went ahead and fucked Frank and gave up her Sugar Avery coochie. And, he just doesn't want to work it out. He's like, we just need to separate. But at least it's not like a bitter separating divorce situation. It's like, yeah, you did wrong to me, but I'm not going to be completely horrible to you. We've gotten past that point, and let's see if we can make this an easy transition so the family doesn't feel anything. He's like, yeah, this would say how we can, split up our assets and divide everything. I'm like, well, damn, who get the house? Because all the things is at the house. We got to see who's going to get the house. So that was one storyline. There was also a storyline, with Kara and Garrett. Not Garrett. Kara and... what's that boy? Orlando. But I'm going to say that in the middle when I do something else. Well, no. Orlando gets his job and he's happy. And he's nervous about meeting his new co-host. And, Kara's like, you'll be great. You get along well with people. Don't worry about it. Y'all should go out, maybe have drinks, get comfortable or whatever, and it'll be fine. So at this meeting, before he announces that he's going to be retiring and having the show, Kara comes and meets the new co-host girl. And it's a little young blonde girl who, seemed a little bit touchy-feely, real friendly. They seem real friendly already. And Kara's like, y'all seem mighty friendly. And he's like, yeah, we came here early. We had a couple drinks. We kind of hit it off. So, I don't feel nervous anymore. And, that's that. Kara had a conversation with Mary Jane where she said, I think he's going to propose at this party. So she's going thinking he's going to propose to her. But he does not propose to her. He gives her a different gift that I'll talk about a little later. Anywho, the whole Mary Jane thing. Again, it was this back and forth between Justin and Kara. Kara was telling Mary Jane, yeah, Kara and Justin did not know Mary Jane had this deciding vote. So they're both talking to her, as a friend and as a girlfriend about what their plans are if they get it. And, Kara said, yeah, if I get this job. And they're both shopping ideas to impress Garrett and the higher ups. Kara was shopped the thing with the primetime special to be like a panel of women discussing different women issues. And, that'll be the primetime special or whatever. And when Garrett kind of said, well, I don't know if we should do that, Justin backed her up, and gave reasons why it was a sound idea. Even having Garrett say, that's the perfect kind of leadership we'll need for, for GDU to go further. Meaning, even though it was Kara's idea, he kind of bigged up Justin for pushing the issue when he kind of fought back on it. So Kara's like, yeah, if I get this position, I'll be able to move my ex-husband and the kids to New York if I'm the new EP. And she's like, wow, would you really do that? Would he go for it? And she's like, yeah, I talked to him already. And, he says, because I've been working so hard, he would do it. You then have Justin, on the other hand, who's saying, well, yeah, I don't get it. I probably wouldn't stay at GDU. I had someone offer me a position for a show in LA, but I don't want to have to leave and force us to not be together in whatever way. He was saying that not even knowing that Mary Jane had the deciding vote. And so it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Danny at one point came and talked to Mary Jane, basically because the last episode when she wasn't so hard on the lady who was hiring immigrants, her constituents and her fans kind of didn't like her anymore. Basically, it was being Twitter trolls and stuff like that. So they kind of made her backtrack her words so they would get off her back. So she went to Mary Jane like, I don't want to have to backtrack what I feel. Like, I want to be able to stand firm in my point. Because if I don't, what's the point of me doing this? And Mary Jane was like, wow, you're finally sounding like a journalist and not just a regular blogger. And she's like, hey, how about you come to my panel? And people can see that even though we have two different opinions and we're two different people, that we're still women and we still have the same aspect on certain things. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she says, how are you coming with that decision? Is it true that you're the deciding vote between Justin and Kara? And she was like, why would you say that? What made you say that? Oh, I thought I heard Justin and Kara talking about it. So now Mary Jane like, oh, now that's why he's saying if he don't get it, he gonna leave because he know. There was also another scene when after Kara said, if I win the position, if I earn the position, I'll move the kids to New York. Then Justin came home and was like, look at this. He had bought like a house or a condo or a cottage on, Necker Island where they wanted to go vacation, which is expensive. And she's like, you didn't even want to spend money to go on a vacation. Now you bought a house, you spent six figures on a house. And he was like, yeah, I feel like, once we get, I get this position, we can, I'll get the position, I can get into it, and we can plan to take a trip up there, and we can just, start our lives together. So again, she's feeling like it's the reason that he's changing and saying, okay, yeah, let's be together. I bought this house when before I didn't want to buy anything. And he's like, no, my ex would have wanted me to be happy, and I'm happy with you. So I'm trying to move forward. So, her and Justin are in the office talking, and he's just saying how he really wants the position. No, they're at home talking about it. And he just says, that's why I love you. And she's like, what did you just say? And he's like, so you want me to repeat it? Mary Jane, I love you. And what does Mary Jane do? Mary Jane fucks it up again. She then says, how long have you known? How long have you known that I had the deciding vote between you and Kara? And that's why you're doing all this. And he's like, what? You had the deciding vote? What? And she was like, come on, you knew. How long have you known? He was like, I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me you had the deciding vote? And she's like, you didn't really know? She's like, yeah, is that the reason you've been so nice? You've been changing all of a sudden? You're just different? Is this the reason? Basically saying he don't really want to be with her. He just doing that to get the position and to butter her up. Which to me is disrespectful to him as a person. That's speaking to his character, saying that you were saying that he's a sneaky individual in your relationship. And that would piss me off too. And you know what I'm saying? He gets pissed off. And I feel like Danny could have said that to put Mary Jane in her own way. Because as we know, whenever Mary Jane has something good, she fucks it up. So he like, I had no idea about that. You see how much I've done for you. You wanted the anchor chair, I got you the anchor chair. You wanted the primetime special. When Kara got it shot down, I spoke it up and I got it for you. I've been doing so much for you. And you kept this from me, but you're accusing me of being the one that's being sick when you didn't tell me about this. And she's like, it's because of how we started. I feel like sometimes there will always be just a little sliver of doubt. And he was like, well, it doesn't have to be that way. He was like, you know what I'm saying? If you loved me, you would know that basically you would know what I'm saying is true. You wouldn't question my character. which I agree with. And you know, he did like walk away or whatnot. So the next thing we see is, you know, Garrett saying, have you made your choice? And she's like, yeah, I have. And then what do we find out? Kara gets the position. Me personally, I thought Justin should get it. Not because he was with Mary Jane, just because I feel like he think outside the box a lot, whereas Kara get pissed off if things don't go her way. Where if something doesn't go Justin's way, he gets a little bit mad, but he then still figures out a way to get things done. To where if something don't go Kara's way, she just mad about it and she pissed off at whoever didn't help her get what she wanted. And I thought Justin should win, and I'm not saying that because she's, you know, Mary Jane's boyfriend. I think it is a hard choice between your boyfriend and your best friend. But I felt like, you know, Justin was the better decision, but she thought Kara. So, you know, Justin kind of leaves the meeting when this announced, which he walks out as everyone's celebrating, and Mary Jane goes behind him like, Justin, where you going? And he was like, why did you choose her? And she's like, I just felt like she'll be a better fit. I feel like, you know, she'll take the show to greater heights. And I felt like if I would have chose you, I would have chose you strictly based on fear. And that would be fear of you and me not working out because I didn't pick you. She was like, so please, you know, tell me that we'll still be together, that we'll still, you know, work out. I did feel like Justin getting mad in that instance was childish. To walk away because he was fairly upset, and you know, but I'm like, if she told you, but my thing is that's also not a reason to not pick him. You should, well, no, because she said she picked Kara because she picked Kara because she thought Kara was a better choice. I get that 100%. Yeah, Justin being angry was a little bit childish to me, but everybody's entitled to their feelings. So when she's like, you know, are we okay? And he's like, he walks away, and she's like, where are you going? And he was like, you've made your choice, so now I'm going to live up to your expectations. And he leaves. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? Justin! And I was pissed off because I said, I've been saying the past couple of episodes, if they have her fucking up with Justin, it's going to piss me off. Because if they do, it's the same cycle. She meets someone, is good for a minute, she fucks it up. She meets someone, is good for a second, she fucks it up. Over and over and over. Even if she meets someone who's bad for her, and she fucks it up, which is fine. But I'm like, okay, eventually she has to come up out of that cycle because it gets boring. So in that aspect of her not picking Justin and Justin being pissed, at the aspect of her, you know, insinuating that he knew and that's the only reason that he was saying that he loved her, that made me mad. I'm like, you throwing darts at this man and it's going to cause y'all to break up, and I don't want that to help. I don't want that to happen. I don't want the show to be repetitive every season where the beginning of the season she meet a man, at the end of the season she lose him. Piss me off. I'm looking like, God damn it, she losing another one? I mean, if she get another man next season, that's a lot of penises. She been with, you know what I'm saying, in 4 seasons, so we need to get it together. Anywho, so there's a scene where Mary Jane is talking to Kara after she's got the position and she's going to Orlando's party, and Kara's so happy, and she's saying, you know, I found a ring, I think he wants to propose to me, I'm so nervous. And Mary Jane says to her, you know, great things are happening for you, just let them happen. You want to marry that man, accept these great things. But I'm like, you telling her that, but you don't do that for yourself. You had great things with Lee, and you didn't let it happen because you wasn't happy. Even you and Justin had a good thing going, and you know, you didn't have to tell him that you were the deciding vote. You didn't. But you put your foot in your mouth and you fucked it up. And I'm like, oh my God, she won't even accept her own greatness that's happening in her life. But whatever. So, you know, even at Orlando's party, instead of Orlando proposing to her and giving her a ring, the gift he gave her was a nameplate of executive producer because she felt like she was going to get the job anyway. So, of course, Kara is upset or disappointed because she like, I found a ring in his bag and it's an engagement ring. Why didn't he propose? Who the fuck is the ring for? And she had to act like, oh, it's a nameplate. Oh, look at this. And, you know, that's how that ends. So, the ending of the season, you know, we see, you know, because Justin has now left her. So he gonna go, you know, he done. And she is at the doctor's office with her embryos. And she's ready for them to be implanted into her so that she can be pregnant. because she doesn't have a man. She's 40. You know, her embryos are only good for so long, as I think is the thing. And so she has them implanted. And, you know, I'm like, oh, that's a crazy way for the episode to end. But that wasn't the end. The next scene is, you know, MJ goes home from the doctor where she's been inseminated. You know, she does not know if she's pregnant yet. We have to see if they take. And, well, no, I think she might be pregnant. I think they were already ready. So she's pregnant, basically. So she get home and there's flowers everywhere. And who's there? Justin's there. I'm like, okay, Justin, you back, homie? Bravo, bruh. And she walk in and she's like, oh my God. And he's like, you know, I'm so sorry, you know, for walking away. You know, I should not have let my feelings get in the way. I should not have left. He basically apologizes that he doesn't want to be without her. He wants them to work it out no matter what happens. He wants to be with her for the rest of his life. And he gets down on one knee and he proposes to Mary Jane. Will you spend the rest of your life with me? Will you marry me? And it's her looking at him, and she looks happy but worried at the same time, because he also says that we can raise our family, we can have our kids, and she's already pregnant, and it ain't his baby, because we know she picked a sperm donor. So she didn't answer the question. Of course, that was the cliffhanger. I thought she was gonna say, I'm pregnant. I thought she was like, I got inseminated today, because he said to her, I know how when things happen, how your mind gets spinning and you spiral. So I should not have never left you like that, because you left her as if y'all were over, and you know how crazy she get. And so what she did was she did what Mary Jane does. She went and she got artificially inseminated. Now, me personally, after my boyfriend break up with me, I would wait about a week, just so that you're not making any rash decisions. But she made a quick rash decision, and now she's pregnant, and now the man that she's in love with is proposing to her, but she's gonna have to tell him, I'm pregnant with someone else's baby, but I want to marry you. So we shall see how that. But again, this bet not be something that breaks. I just can't take another season of her not getting her relationship right. And my thing is, I'm not saying that she has to have the perfect relationship, that they can't argue and have disagreements and stuff like that. I'm saying she can't break up with this person. I mean, she has to have some kind of successful relationship that's building on them getting married, dating, living together, talking about kids and all that stuff, just so that the story can progress and it's not a constant thing of Mary Jane is still 40 and single and looking for love. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. So that was, you know, the whole episode. You know, it ended well. They did show the panel that they did, and you know, Angela Wright, who was a political analyst, was on there. I like her. Danny was on there too. They were just talking about women in the work field, how you can be successful on your own in the workplace, but you can't be successful on your own in the family life. Meaning, you can't be a woman and be a single mom successfully. You know, why is it that I can run a business by myself and that's a great thing, but if I want to have a child without a husband, that's a bad thing? And Danny was like, well, does Justin know that you talking like this? Because it sounds like you want to be single. So, you know, I thought that was a great conversation. It's about women in general being able to have it all. So, yeah, that was the whole season. You know, the whole episode. You know, I'm anxious to see next season, to see where the story goes. But I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. And until next time, people, peace.